Quotes from Thomas Watson. From the Kindle, Deep Christian Quotes and Bible Verses. First quote. Prayer is the arrow, and faith is the bow by which our requests go up to heaven. A faithless prayer is a fruitless prayer. The father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe." When his tear dropped to the earth, his faith reached heaven. Second quote. It is a saying of one of the ancients, "The saints carry the keys of heaven at their belt." Prayer opens the door of heaven, and takes the blessings from God's hand. Third quote. Godliness is the secret impression and workmanship of God in a man, whereby from being carnal he is made spiritual. When godliness is wrought in a person, he does not receive a new soul, but he has another spirit. Numbers 14:24. The faculties are not new, but the qualities are. The strings are the same, but the tune is corrected. Fourth quote. That prayer is most likely to pierce heaven, which first pierces one's own heart. Prayer without fervency is no prayer. Lifeless prayer is no more prayer than the picture of a man is a man. Fifth quote. Godliness is a real thing. It is not a fantasy, but a fact. Godliness is not the feverish fantasy of a sick brain. A Christian is no enthusiast, one whose religion is all made up of theory. Godliness has truth for its foundation. It is called the way of truth, Psalm 119:30. Godliness is a ray and beam that shines from God. If God is true, then godliness is true. Sixth quote. Repentance and remission are linked together, that repentance and forgiveness of sin should be preached in His name, Luke 24:47. Not that repentance in a popish sense merits forgiveness. Christ's blood must wash our tears away, but repentance is a qualification, though not a cause of forgiveness. He who is humbled for sin, will value pardoning mercy the more. Seventh quote. Godliness is a supernatural thing. By nature we inherit nothing but evil. When we were in the flesh, the motions of sins did work in our members, Romans 7:5. We sucked in sin as naturally as our mother's milk, but godliness is the wisdom from above, James 3:17. It is breathed in from heaven. God must light up the lamp of grace in the heart. Weeds grow by themselves. Flowers are planted. Godliness is a celestial plant which comes from the New Jerusalem. Therefore it is called a fruit of the Spirit, Galatians 5:22. A man has no more power to make himself godly, than to create himself. Eighth quote. The pardoned soul may go to God with boldness in prayer. Guilt clips the wings of prayer, so that it cannot fly to the throne of grace, but forgiveness breeds confidence. He who has his pardon, may look his prince in the face with comfort. Ninth quote. If God be our God, He will give us peace in trouble. When there is a storm without, He will make peace within. The world can create trouble and peace, but God can create peace in trouble. 10th quote. Eternity to the godly is a day that has no sunset. Eternity to the wicked is a night that has no sunrise. 11th quote. Another sin which has brought us low, is barrenness under the means of grace. Hosea 10:1, Israel is an empty vine. His juice runs out only into leaves. We have had much pruning and dressing. The silver drops of heaven have fallen upon us, but we have not brought forth the fruits of humility and repentance. We can discourse of religion, but this is only to bring forth leaves, not fruit. Barrenness has laid us low, and we may fear it will lay us waste. God may pull up the hedge, and let in a foreign wild boar. Thanks.